welcome. I'm very excited to speak with you today. Could you please tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
I'm Nick van der Wee. I'm a psychiatrist and a professor of biological psychiatry at Leiden University Medical Center. And I'm a clinician as well and a neuroscientist, and with my group we do a lot of biological and neuroimaging research.
You've been doing a lot of work on resiliency. Could you please describe what is resiliency and what is the resilient brain?
Yeah, so resilience, or resiliency if you want, is a very important concept. It means the capacity to bounce back after impact of stressful or traumatic events. And we all know as clinicians, we know patients who suffered from the impact of such an event, but at the same time they have family members who are able to cope with it and to function still keep functioning at a high level. And of course then one wonders what is happening in the brain in those people who are resilient to these impacts. And you might argue there are two systems of importance there. The first one is of course the immediate regulation of emotions, and the second one would be the one involved in the processing of all what happened afterwards. And if you think about the first one, you should think about more automatic, immediate emotion regulation stuff. The second one more involves higher order processing. And different neurocircuitry involved. So the first one is limbic system, amygdala, prefrontal cortex. The second one is probably more about the sanus network and the default mode network. And we know from our studies that there are differences in these networks in highly resilient people. So we studied highly resilient police officers. We found difference in the connectivity of the sanus network, which is aimed to look at your introspective capacities, with, for instance, the executive network. And it turns out that probably in highly resilient people, automatic processes, they function already well because they were selected, for instance, to become a police officer. But to be highly resilient, these other higher order processes are of importance.
What therapeutic interventions have you found to enhance resilience?
Well, there's a debate. There are a lot of interventions in the psychological domain, but not all very well documented. And an interesting one, I would say, is mindfulness-based therapy. It has been demonstrated to enhance resiliency in special forces, for instance. And the elements of mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, on the one hand, is of course increasing the awareness in the moment, so the introspective capacity, linking it to the salience network, but also non-judgmental acceptance. So just basically keeping your cool, not getting into action immediately, which is more relating to prefrontal executive control elements. And those two elements typically seem to change after special forces or police officers having followed such a mindfulness-based cognitive training. So yeah, that might be a prime candidate to look into, but also there a lot of research still needs to be done.
Thank you so much and for your work in this important area.
It's been a pleasure.